So this is officially my second Twitch stream. My first Twitch stream was me messing around with these settings. It's pretty basic stuff. You can actually, well, you can see them, as long as you're not looking into the void. But I love this. This is like so interesting to me. It's like the void. Anyhow, look at this, 3D. All right, I'm supposed to be doing work. So I just set up the basic thing like webcam. Oh, you can see my voice. You can see my voice. Oh, and yeah, I'm watching Twitch in the background because I'm a bum. uh, yeah, you can hear me there because I don't have any audio for that. So it's like pretty much whenever somebody comes to try and assassinate me, I'll just click on that. Dispatch would be assassin, and then come back and tell y'all all about it. So let me go and tweet about the stream so that people can watch it. Um, 1 minute. You see me messing around with all of my stuff here because I kind of don't really care, till I start. Yeah. Anyways, streaming on. Let's see, Twitch.tv/ChadRStewart. Tweets. I feel like I should have, since I'm going over some code I wrote, I should do that. Let me make a, do that, come hang out, twitch.tv/ChadRStewart, and then let me put up here, Chad writes code, learn in public, build in public. I guess that will be that. Yeah. Tweet that. Delete this tweet. Yep. So at the very least, it's in. Okay. So I don't know if there's anybody here. I actually need to bring up Twitch chat. I'm not particularly used to all of this, so let me go to my thing here, and let me go. How do I get pop out? Pop out, pop out, pop out, pop out. Mod view. Oh shit, I'm a mod. Oh snap, I'm a mod. How the hell do you get pop out view? My preferences, chat appearance. Come on, guys. Where's pop out? Alright. Here's what this is really, yeah, I'm pretty new to all of this insanity, so this is just watching me, you know, kind of screw around. On Twitch, pop out chat. Thank God. Good Lord. I just realized. Do I even? This is. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. get this in not incognito mode. New window. Yep, this works. Cool. I mean, connecting to chat. Let's see. This can go away. Maybe. Hola. Oh, neck nabbit. That's what I figured. Hola. Ha! Victory! Alright, cool. So, now I have Twitch chat, which, um, I'll just check it periodically. So I can close that. I don't have to figure out how to a better way of doing that. Let me just make sure I'm still streaming. I am still streaming. I am not talking into the void for no reason like usual. Excuse me. Okay. Water. Right. So what I wanted to do today, as my first official I'm not messing around stream, what I wanted to do today was drink water on stream. All right. Good night, everyone. All right. What I wanted to do today, since I had a, since I had, well, so the idea is just right now is I'm trying to be a little bit consistent with streaming on Twitch. Um, the intention is to stream Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 2. Uh, 9, really and truly, it's 9 to 11. Take a hour break, get food and stuff like that. And then from 12 to 2. And then stream randomly maybe in the afternoon, especially when I decided to play more video games. Let me just make sure that y'all can actually see my face. Yes, I'm still very much. Alright, anyways. So, um, I spent most of the day today setting this thing up. Like yesterday, I didn't have anything, even though I should have set this up yesterday. But I was lazy and I was talking to a friend about some important stuff. Anyhow, um, yeah. Anyhow, so as opposed to trying to write code today, I figured the best thing I could do is go over a project that I worked on for an interview. I didn't get the job, unfortunately. It was like the interview went fairly well, but they were looking for a more senior developer, back-end developer. I wasn't that at the time. Not the reason why I'm interested in back-end development. It just played out that way. I need to get more water. But you know, uh, they were just like they wanted me to have more senior developer, back-end developer skills, or more back-end developer skills, and that is my phone going off. One moment. Yeah, I'm back. Let me put it to webcam. Yeah, so this whole thing, I kind of like I announced that I have a YouTube channel, and I announced that I have a Twitch channel, and people are saying, "Yo, what's good? Good luck," and stuff like that. So I believe the message that I'm getting is from people saying, "What's up?" This guy well, whatever. Uh, so what was the plan? Right. So, let me silence my phone so it's not too much of a bother right now. Um, is so I have a friend who's like who's showing her support. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you very much. Um, and I have another person reaching out because they I'm assuming they're like a YouTube coach person who's going to immediately be like, "Hey, I can build your channel following," and I'm going to be like, "I currently don't care right now, because I'm just trying to maximize my ability to put videos on the interwebs because I can't do that at all." Well, I don't want to say I can't do that at all. I'm clearly doing it right now, but not very good at that. Oh, cool. Ah, dang it. Damn stream ended. Uh, Let me turn the television off. So let me screw it. Actually, I think it's behind me. One moment. Off, all demons. Yes, right. God damn. That's another thing too. I'm staring at myself. Um, so I go to reach for my mic and I'm just like, where is it? Anyways, um, so before I go into the take home, and what I did, and I should show like literally like the finished product and then the code I wrote. Before I go into the take home, just a quick background on me. I guess since it's this is fairly new. So I'm Chad. If you don't know from the Twitch chat and all things that just have my name on it as opposed to some pseudonym. I'm Chad. I am a front end engineer, or what I would consider a front end engineer, in Kingston, Jamaica. So I mainly work in obviously JavaScript, but I mainly work in React. Um, and I'm the intention of this channel is one, really to interact with the software engineering community more in more of a community sense, but really and truly, like what I plan to do now for the foreseeable future is to work on back end engineering. And so what I'm going to do moving forward being not today, what I plan to do moving forward is just like just try to learn back end engineering by kind of presenting myself with some problems, through projects, trying to work through the projects, um, and like whatever I learned throughout trying to get those things to work, you know, that's what I do. That's I'm hopefully getting knowledge from that. Um, I don't know if people kind of follow me on Twitter. Oh shit! What's up, Todd? I almost said Toby. What's up, Toby? Oh, now I said Toby. What's up, Todd? I honestly expected completely and totally to be talking to the void. Oh, let me show you. This is the most interesting thing. Like, and I know I've seen it in other like streams, but like, God, and I don't remember what effect this is. I don't know what effect this is. Whatever. This is the. Anyways, let me go back to actually doing my intro. Oh man. Yeah. Yes, I have a person here to keep me company. Thank you very much, Todd. And I'm gonna call you Toby again, and it's going to be funny. But yes, I have somebody to keep me company. I'm no longer talking to the ghosts in my room. Um, But yeah, let me finish intros. Let me finish intros. Like so, uh, I'm just gonna try and learn backend engineering through like a series of projects. I have a YouTube channel. It's the same as the Twitch channel, ChadRStewart. Um, so I've been called. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ironically, well, I've been called whatever. Focus on the intro. Focus on intros. Right. So, um, that's kind of like the basic idea. Just just learning backend engineering and whatever stuff as well. I do plan on playing a little bit of video games here and there. I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. I don't have a schedule for that really. Focus. I need you to be focused. But yeah, I don't have a schedule for that. Really and truly. So, um, for the most part, I just kind of want to be as consistent as possible with the coding because that's like the main reason for this. With whatever. So the schedule I have right now, I think I said it before, but I'll say it again. For Toby. Well, the schedule I have is Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., which in essence is Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 11. Take an hour break. I don't know what an hour break looks like on Twitch right now, but the idea is take an hour break. And then from 12 to 2, and that would be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, that'd be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, like I'm just starting this, so I don't know how consistent I'll be, but that's kind of like the idea I have right now. I guess it's subject to change depending on how this goes. But at least you know those 2 days out of the week, I just kind of want to be here, pressing buttons on my computer. So I'm sorry. There's people like there's a house being built right there, right by me, and so like pretty much there's a fair amount of distractions for somebody who clearly is easily distracted. Um, right. So the main order of business. It's not going to be a very long stream. Like again because of the schedule, but I spent most of the day actually setting all of this up. Because of the schedule, I excuse me. Because of the schedule, I actually want to, at the very least, talk a little bit about code or talk a little bit about something that I worked on um, today. So I felt like I actually did something. It's like, anyways, let me switch this back to the void. Look, even the mouse is. Anyways, distractions. Right, no distractions. So this is a take-home project. I guess I'll reiterate. This is a take-home project from a company called Omnipresent. They had reached out to me on Twitter, and they wanted me to interview. And one of the things that they wanted me to do was to make a take-home project. Um, I want to. So this is in a private repo currently. I'm going to just kind of like take the code and put it in a public repo so that I can ask people if this sucks or not, and just have people kind of comment on it. Let me actually run the project. Let me see, node run. I'm so embarrassed because I have no idea what I'm doing. npm run. What? Where am I? Take home project. Yeah, start npm start. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because now I'm being viewed by millions of people. Oh, actually, let me go bring up the Twitch chat. Yeah, so I have a Twitch chat here, so I'll just kind of pop in and out. All right, so the basic idea of this, it's they wanted me to. I hope I hope if anything, I'll just delete the VOD afterwards or whatever. I hope they don't have a problem with me actually talking about it. I don't know if I don't remember ever saying whether or not this was a problem, but they wanted me to kind of build a form. Um, excuse me. They wanted me to kind of build a form to take some data, and in essence make it into a request to be sent off to some API. Technically, well, I don't want to talk too much more about about the whole thing, just mostly about the code that I wrote. So it's a very simple form. I built it in Material UI because at the last job I was at, I used a lot of Material UI and I kind of like it, to be quite honest with you. Material UI. Um, excuse me. So, um, right. So you can just add your name, Stewart, date of birth. You can add anything. Can you add? Yeah, you can add anything. There is like a character limit, but you can add any text. But there's validation on it. Um, I just chose the country to be Jamaica by default because I'm a bum, I guess. Submit and there's a let me see. It should be console log. Oh God! Look at all this red. Evil. All right, yeah. So I just console, logged what the request would look like, or what the send or whatever would look like. I guess now that I'm doing all this, I'm going to really show the amount of skills that I have. But anyways, this is in essence what I did. So there's a few things. First of all, there's a little bit of validation. So if you put, I think, no, yeah, you can put letters here. But if you put special characters here, it will get the form will get salty at you. It will tell you about yourself. And if you try to send the form, it will though the form will still be salty at you and tell you to resolve all the errors. I should have the form flat out curse at you, but yeah. So one of the things about the form is depending on some of the countries, they have different things. I remember I can just kind of go look it up. I remember going. Let me check chat in case. Oh, you're doing fine. Don't sweat it. Thanks, Todd, Toby. Oh God, now I think I have to do that on purpose. Anyways, distractions. I remember Brazil being one of these things. Hey, yes, let's just go with Brazil. So if you select a country that has specific stuff that they need, then the form will change, and the information that they need will appear, and validation happens. I believe validation happens. Yes, validation happens regardless of which thing is there. So in essence, any, as long as there isn't any, what you call it, there isn't any errors. Let me remove this error. As long as there isn't any errors, it should be fine. Actually, let me click submit. Yeah, so I think it's because these are empty. It's been a little bit. Needs to be between 40. So that's 41. Let me put 50. I don't remember. Ah, yeah. So I guess that's something I forgot. I forgot to say if the field is empty, then to give a error, or maybe this error field is not working. I think that's what the issue is. This error field is not working. But either way, the idea is if there are certain countries, which I think there are only 3 currently, if there are certain countries selected, the form will change to say, hey, I need information from these countries, and there's validation on all the forms, even though the validation is not completely like great. Um, so I'd have to go back and check that. Anyways, to the code. So, and this is pretty much how I kind of talked about the project when during the interview. So, I'm still going to. So let me go to the README, and the README pretty much says what I used. I used React, Material UI, Jest for testing, and then test an enzyme for testing. Um, just a little bit about running the project. I should have read this earlier. A little bit about running the project. Npm install all the dependencies, and then once I was ready, run npm run to start the project, and npm test to run tests. Just a quick overview. I guess I'll go over all the stuff here, and then I'll just kind of show it in detail. So application state was handled with React context, mainly because I hadn't really used React context before. I didn't want to use Redux. I felt like Redux was overkill for this. And like I said, I hadn't really used React context in a project before. Like I've used it in tutorials trying to learn it, but I hadn't used it in a project like to be put live. Um, so the intention was just, hey, let me play around with this. I'll learn a lot. I learned a fair bit about the project, about React context through this project. Pretty happy about that. Excuse me. So the form is split into two components. There's a main form component, which is an index, and then there's a subform, and that's how I kind of wanted to handle the form changing. Um, I believe submit for. I don't remember why I talked about this, but yeah, this is a subform component. Oh, right. So the general idea of the project is I wanted to build the project as much as I can, as much as my skill would allow me to, in such a way that it was easily extensible. I also technically built it to be um, I also technically built it to be fairly performant because whenever so generally when you're doing when I see people doing state, they have one state object, and excuse me, they have one state object, and they throw the entire application state in that state object. And so if the state changes, the entire state object changes, and because the entire state object changes, I believe the entire form re-renders, because in essence all of the state variables is in the object, and the object changes, and so it's like it re-renders the whole thing. Um, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that. It's easier, it's cleaner for like managing the state, but like I don't know, I'm a performance nut, I guess, or I kind of want to get to a point where like I'm writing code that's performant. I don't know, whatever. Like I just felt like I kind of wanted to just have. I'll show you in a minute, but I kind of wanted to have the state. I wanted each state variable kind of on its own, even though I kind of ends up in an object just to move around the project, but each state variable is on its own. I have a utils folder, so this list of countries. Let me go back to this. This list of countries actually comes from a an API. I think it's like REST countries or something. It's an API that has like a list of countries and various stuff for the countries. And I was just like, since this API is here, I wrote like, oh wait, no, sorry, yes, since this API is here, I just wrote a quick node script so that I could get the names of the countries and put them in a file that I could call. Um, so I didn't necessarily, so I could just put them in the select in the selector. And then I have input validation, which is pretty much the file that handles all the input validation for the form. Um, so input validation, the idea is, I think the idea for me was just to kind of have validation, um, to have validation like everything. Say for instance the project was extensible, like all validation would go through that. But since it was a form, and say maybe it even it probably would have been just the form component. So it's like you would like import the form component or something like that. Then you just import this whole project, and then it would just do validation for the form. Um, I don't remember exactly why, but the idea was just like I just wanted like a one place that would do all the validation for the form. I don't know if it would be necessary to do all the validation for the project, but at least for the form. I'll talk about input validation when we get there. Um, so there's a bit of stuff with tests. So for right now, the only thing that the tests really do is to check if the form components are empty or not. Um, the reason why it doesn't do more than that, the intention was to test everything about the form, but I was having an issue. I'll show you here. I'll have you. Well, I'm not going to show you, but I was having an issue with this selector from Material UI. So the issue here is that generally when when I'm changing the state for this, I'm using onChange. OnChange? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, onChange. The selector actually doesn't use onChange directly. What it does, it splits it into I think a few other actions. I don't remember exactly how it is in Material UI, but it makes it a little bit more difficult. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm the most well versed in Enzyme. Um, so I had a hard time getting the state to change in the test when I was mounting the when I was mounting the selector. Well, I was mounting the component, and so I kind of spent like a couple of hours on it, and it was kind of to the point where I'd more or less spent a fair amount of time on this project, and I was kind of burnt out, and I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna figure this out, so I just kind of called it, and it was just kind of went on cleaning the rest of the project up. I'll show you the problems that I had. Anyways, so that was tests. So they wanted me to write a proposal. I'm not going to talk about the proposal here because I don't know how much they want me to talk about it. So I'm not going to talk about the proposal. And then I have a miscellaneous thing. I have a miscellaneous folder that talked about the pretty much I downloaded the JSON response from the API, and then I wrote a quick node script. I just felt like I wanted to save that as well. I also had a procedure for this project, so I wrote this whole thing. And this was pretty much my guide to how I was going to complete the project. So I was like, build, set up this physical form, set it up set up these fields, just make the fields appear and be the way I want them to be. Then I wanted to set up the state. This is when I started doing, React context, and then I wanted to do validation and, construct the JSON request. To be quite honest, I think these two things I spent the most amount of time on. I spent a couple of days on this. Mainly because I just wanted to make it as perfect as I could. Or as perfect as I could, as my knowledge would let me. And I spent like a day writing tests. After I felt like I'd gotten everything done, and and then I wrote the README for the project. I ended up having to write the README twice because like I used Create React App to create this, and then I just like just plucked things out. And so Create React App has a README in it, and so I made another README, and I think it was like README copy or something like that. So I wrote the README. I wrote the README, and I was just like, okay, cool. Let me delete the README from Create React App, and I ended up deleting the README I just made. I was like, God damn it. So I spent some time trying to recover the README from the disk. I was hoping that it was still on the disk, and I guess the file was too corrupted by the time I got to it, so I just ended up writing the README again. Because I was just like, I literally sat there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and I was just like, I'm not writing this shit again. So I was like, I'm just going to be as lazy as possible. And I'm pretty sure the time it took for me to actually try to recover the file, I could have easily just rewritten the README, which I ended up doing anyway. Oh, but that was fun. So yeah, and then write the proposal and then review and submit. It's just giving things to people to just have them go over it. Anyhow, to the code. I will talk about state first. Um, So React context. As you know, as I was saying, like everything is its own thing here. One of the things that they had actually mentioned here was they were saying that this would get really unruly really quickly. I think in this state, yes, I agree. But like immediately afterwards, like not even a minute or two afterwards, after agreeing with it, I was kind of coming up with ideas on how to make this less unruly. So some of the things that I had come up with, which I don't know, I haven't seen them done before in any project. Um, and this is just me like kind of wanting the thing to be the component to be performant. Um, what I was thinking of doing is having like maybe a list of of state state variables that I wanted to create, and then passing it into this, and then having some form of, I guess, factory that would in essence reproduce this line, right? So it would create uh, this line const, and then the variable name, and then this variable name would set in front of it, and then pretty much just make the first letter, because this would always be in camel case, right? So like you can enforce that all of these are in camel case for whichever project. Um, but then, so which means that for you to kind of continue to enforce the continue to have camel case, you could always just capitalize this letter, like the first letter of the variable, since it will be I almost said common. It will be lowercase, capitalized, common. Yeah. Anyways, and just keep keep building, just keep making this line, right? Because in essence, this is what it is, right? Maybe there's like for instance here, like everything here, the state is just empty, right? But here the state is a variable. So if anything, you could initialize it so that it's always empty. But if you pass something into it, that will be the state, right? Like for instance here, false, right? So that's what I was thinking, and what that does is it kind of makes it so instead of having to, in essence, copy this over and over and just keep making use state over and over and over again, um, you could literally just pass a list into this, and then the list would act as for like new developers is like if you want a new state variable, you would just write the name of the state variable, and then it would construct the state variable here, you know it would like do all the work behind the scenes to make the state variable, so that you as the developer don't need to know that. But I don't know, something that I was thinking of right afterwards. It was something that I'm interested in. I might play around with it in the future, but it was just something I was thinking of to solve this problem. Anyways, so in essence, each variable has the variable that I want to leverage, and then whether or not it and the error, right? So in essence, each variable has a corresponding error variable, and so in essence, if there's a problem, you write it to the error variable, right? I think country is the only one that doesn't have an error variable, because it's impossible to have a country, as far as I can tell. Well, I'm pretty sure there's ways around it, but for what I was thinking, like it's impossible or impractical. Well, I guess I shouldn't, you know, revolve. I shouldn't play around with the realm of impracticality, because that's where devious people live. But my thought process was like I can't think of a way to to I can't think of a way to to that you can not have a country without like maybe directly writing it into the form. And I just didn't want to think about it at the time, because I was just like the goal was to try to be thorough, but not to be too thorough where I spend too much time working on the project. So I just kind of left it the way it is here. I'm pretty sure there's like stuff that I could have done, or I could have just looked a little bit more into the select and just to ensure that there's always a variable in there. I don't know. This is just me spitballing, but whatever. So I have this object here. I have this object. Oh, and I have a submit error and a is error. So these are all the variables that I need for all the various um, um, components, all the various input that I need. Let me check the chat because I'm just talking here. Oh snap! Oh, hey, I'm here from Todd. Hey, what's up? Thanks, Golden. Thanks for Golden that underscore R. God, now I realize how everybody feels when they're like reading and it's just like, it's like they're trying to pronounce people's names. Hey, thank you for coming into the chat for a bit. Like I'm just kind of explaining my project that I did for a take home. But thank you very much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Anyways, so I ended up putting everything in an object just to kind of have it to kind of put it in the what you call it, the context provider. Um, so I'm not going to lie, I kind of copy and pasted this because I like I know about this pattern where it's just like you take the context provider and then you just kind of put it in. So what is this? This is how do you? I don't remember exactly. It's in apps. It's in app. Okay, yeah, yeah. So we're outputting the form provider here. Yeah, we're outputting the form provider here. How do we get that? Okay, yeah. So it's just this function, right? So and then we create everything, and then it returns the context provider. Yeah. So I knew about this pattern before. I don't remember exactly why well, outside of not having to write form context provider and then pass the value. It makes app look a little bit cleaner because it's like, oh, you just have the form provider, and then you just wrap form in the form provider, and you get all the contexty goodness. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the context. Um, so grid is from Material UI, and it's just to to it's just using CSS grid. Not going to lie, I actually can't use CSS grid directly, but I know enough about grid from Material UI to actually leverage it. So in essence, Material UI is doing that. It's something I need to work on, but whatever. So like I was saying, the form provider is wrapped around the form object, the form component, which is wrapped by the grid, and then it's like you have things like column and center, it's just CSS stuff to make sure that it's in the right position. I was messing around with it being mobile responsive, but to be quite honest, the form is not really that big. Oh, he left. I didn't even see that. Oh, whatever. Thanks for popping in. Where is it? The form isn't really that big, so it's like who cares about mobile responsiveness? Like that's what I kind of learned real quick, cause it's like, even if I did anything for mobile responsiveness, it's not that big. It's like the form's not that big. Um. Anyways, so let's go into the form. Let me check if I'm streaming. I'm still streaming. I'm sorry. I really like the void. So let's go into the component. Right. So just import a bunch of stuff. Um, I think this is where he was kind of saying that it would be a little bit unruly. So I just pulled out everything out of the context um, that I wanted. So it's not everything. It's like the variable that I want, the error state for the variable, um, and then the set states, the set states for each variable. And then since the submit is here, then the set states, the submit error and stuff like that, and is error and stuff like that. And so form state is, I don't remember how this line works. Form state, where do I use it? I'm pretty sure I use it. Form state. Oh, right, yeah. So, this is being used in the form validation, because I couldn't figure out a good way of checking the state of the form. So I just passed the entire form state into something, so that I could send it into the validator, so that it can actually look through the state directly. Pretty sure there's a better way of doing that. I remember actually mentioning that in the interview. So let me give you a good idea of what I wanted, right? So the big thing for me was that the form only really handles display. It doesn't handle anything else, right? It will handle everything that it's displaying, which includes error messages. So I have an object here, an object of error messages, and it will pass that object into the validator. So the validator actually has no error messages. The form has the error messages, and the form passes it to the validator. And depending on the the variable being checked, it will it will supply an error message based on the variable being checked. Um, Yeah, it's, handle change. Handle change simple. Just get the value and then putting that in the state. So the way the handle change works as well is that we pass the state function into the handle change, so so that the handle change doesn't need to know which state function it needs to go into. It just calls it. So it's like we pass the event, and then we pass the state function. Um, and so it's like you get the value from the event. Excuse me, you get the value from the event. Excuse me, get the value from the event, and you get the state function. And anyways, so handle submit is pretty much, it does the last amount of validation. So you prevent defaults. They prevent the default for the form, and then it checks if there's any error at all. I'll talk about this in a little bit. And if there is no error, then it just sets error submit to 0, and then it checks. It goes through. Is this form data? Where? Oh yeah. So it gets form data from the event. Um, what is the result? Oh yeah, this is me constructing the. I see why people don't like using result as the variable. Okay, whatever. So now we go through for each item, and we check if the value is zero. If in essence, if the forms are empty, if any of the forms are empty, then the form will get salty at you and tell you to please complete the form. Um, and if not, I don't remember why I do this again. Um, I don't remember why I do this again. I guess it's just in case if there's an error there. I don't think I need to do this again, but I'm not going to change anything right now. I just want to explain it. And then, you just make the JSON response, and then and then I'll put the JSON response. So this is really validation to check if there's any errors and to check if the form is completed. Right. So you have the unsubmit here, and then you have the again the grid here, form label, and stuff like that. So this is pretty much me just having the text fields having them set up. I'm not gonna lie, to be quite honest, it had been a while since any front end stuff because I've been like trying to do back end stuff and pretty much trying to do everything but front end stuff. So it's just like me just kind of getting my sea legs when I wrote all of this. Um, so text character limit comes from the validator. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't need to necessarily talk too much about this. Here's where the handle change is called, and it passes the event, and then it passes set first name, which is the state function that you use to update the state. Um, Form validation. So I'll talk about this in a bit. Where's validation being pulled from? Yeah, from input validation. So yeah, that's the function. So I made a function that would do all the input validation, right? And you have to pass all this stuff in. This I do not need. I remember even in the interview, I was just like, I don't think I need this. I think I was just kind of like, by the time I got to this part of the project, I was just trying to figure out how to get this done, and this is what I wrote. This is what I ended up writing. I don't think I really need it, but this is what I ended up writing, and it's whatever, right? So, but you pass a bunch of things in. You pass your first name. You pass the set error in case you need to set an error. So we use regex. Actually, do not need to call regex here. My initial thought was that I would need to call the regex on the input itself. I don't remember why. And so like my idea was like, okay, I have the regex set up, and then I'll pull it in when I need it. And then by the time I got to the point where I was just like, um, the form validator was doing all of the work, um, where it's like it's just really passing something in from the form validator into this, and then passing it back into the form validator. So this is wasted. But it was just like I had like this one mindset at the time. I just ended up not fixing it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the all the text fields are the same. The select field is this. So this is where we're getting. Oh wait, no, this is ID. Where we're getting? Ah yeah. So the value is a country. This is a state variable. Where are we getting? Ah yeah. So this is where we're getting the list. So we pull countries from the file I was talking about. Let me show you the file really quickly. So this is the file, and it's in essence, oh, it's an array. Yeah, so an array of names of strings, and we just export the array, and we just map it out. Where is the? Why am I not doing? Yeah, I don't even need this anymore. Where is index? Here we go. And we just map it out here so that we have it. And in essence, you have to put a key here, and then you put the value and the name. And so we just map it out here. And then we just call a subform here, and this is a submit button. And that's pretty much the form. So the subform, I was playing around with a few ideas. Um, at first I was thinking, should the subform actually handle the objects? The subform's fairly similar, but I'll talk about the differences. Should the subform just handle display, and then I just feed it objects, and then like to to do I just feed it an object to kind of build out, or should the subform handle that it's handle the specific things that I need to output itself? I ended up deciding that the subform should handle the countries. So I think I said three. There's three countries: Spain, Ghana, and Brazil. I only showed you Brazil, but they all have like specific text fields, And they also have I'll talk about it in a bit. Where is it? It's not social. Yeah, they all have this text field, holiday allowance, but they have different restrictions on the holiday allowance. And so this object has the country, and then it'll have the form layout. If there's no form layout, then whatever, right? It doesn't display anything. Um, and it also has minimum holiday allowance, right? So it also has minimum holiday allowance, and that goes into here, into the validator. Sorry, it goes into the validator. So pretty much, I just kind of built the form layout in this object so that here, where is it? These are the error messages. Uh, oh, that's just some stuff. These are just the error messages. Oh, right, yeah. So what I also wanted to do is that whenever the subform re-renders, or not re-render, sorry, whenever you change the country, it clears all the state. I'm pretty sure there's a better way I could have done it, but I just that was just kind of like, let me just have it reset as opposed to like have the state, because I remember that was an issue while I was building it, where it was just like, oh, you know, if I change the country and then change it back, the state would be there. I don't think it hurts anything, but I just wanted to make sure that all the state was empty every time the country changed, which may not necessarily be best a good user experience, but you know, like it was it's cleaner for me. It was cleaner to me. I have another handles. Should have just passed it on. I don't see why I wrote this again. Whatever. Um. Anyways, so I checked the country variable, the country state variable, and if the country that's selected has a form config, um, then we output it. I'm reading this line. I'm not sure if it does exactly what I want it to do, but if anything, I'll check it later. But so it will output in essence this form layout. If form layout is in country, yeah, it's doing exactly what I wanted to do. If form layout is in country, then it just outputs this, right? It outputs the form layout. What else? Right. So and holiday allowance is in everything, even if there's a country that doesn't have like specific stuff in it. Holiday allowance is always there. There is a thing where it's like it only takes 3 characters. I think they're all numbers. They only take 3 characters. They're numbers, and you can only you can only put numbers up to 365. Um, just this is kind of like the guess that I didn't know. Still don't know what holiday allowance. Well, I kind of have an idea what holiday allowance is, obviously, but I didn't know like exactly how it works, and so I was just like, let me just kind of guess how many. Let me just stick with something that I know is like obviously there's only 365. It was 365.25. I don't remember exactly, but there's only so many days in a year, and so it's just like I'll just use that, and I'll just simplify that so I don't have to think about it anymore. Is there anything of importance with holiday allowance? There was something. Let holiday allowance. Ah, yeah. Um, yeah. So we pass. So I wanted to build. I just wanted to make sure that we're using the holiday allowance. So if anything, so holiday allowance starts at 0. If there's a holiday allowance, then we put this here. I don't remember why I have it set up this way exactly. Um, I don't remember why I have the statement set up this way. I'd have to look at it again. And then we just do some validation. We just do we pass the stuff here into the form validator. So the only other two things that are important about this is really form validation, um, is form validation, and then talking about the tests and some of the issues that I had with testing. Uh, where is form validator? Sorry, I'm like my neck's getting a little stiff by holding it in this. Okay, so input validation. So I have no idea which characters to validate for multiple languages, so I'm sticking with English. Yeah, so the company does like the what the company does is why can't I say what it does? So it kind of acts as a proxy. So say for instance, if you're a company in some country and you want to employ somebody outside of your country, um, from my understanding, legally you have to have some entity in the country before you can employ that person. And all of that is a big problem. Nobody wants to deal like the companies don't want to deal with it. So what they will do is they will reach out to Omnipresent and they will say, "Hey, Omnipresent, I want to hire this person. Can you act as a proxy for us?" In essence, that's kind of like the thing. So it's like Omnipresent will not necessarily hire the person, but I don't remember exactly how the logistics of it went, but they will be oh yeah, so they will handle all the administration for that person. You know, I think they handle the pay and they handle and having being associated with a legal entity in that country, but um, the person is still hired directly by the company. I don't remember exactly. Anyways, the point through all this is that they were in multiple countries, and I wanted to be able to do validation for multiple languages, and then I realized that I had no idea how to do that, and I was just like, let me just leave it there. So that's where this comment came from. So I have a few like text limits here. So it's like character limit 50, num limit 15, date limit 10. It has to be if it's not 10 characters. Is it 10 characters? Yeah. If it's not 10 characters, if it's not specifically this regex, or if this regex does not validate it properly, then you can't input that date. So technically, I don't even need this date character limit. Well, I guess no, I still need to. I still need this limit. Um, and then the holiday allowance limit, which is well, like I said, it was 3. So I have different regex um, what you call it stuff here to use for validation. So I have just like text only, number only, text and number, and then the date. The date, there's a bit of a funny story about all that. So like, I was actually going through a bunch of different like date regex stuff that I found through googling, and nothing was working. And I was just like, yo, why is nothing working? And then I realized that where is it? I realized that I wasn't calling it properly. And I was just like, dag nabbit. I wasn't calling the date properly, or I wasn't checking the date properly. Anyways, so we have this long ass form, this long ass function definition. Well, this long ass like variable. I don't even remember what this is called, where you define the variables. But you have the state variable, you have the set error function, you have the variable name, you have the regex, which I already said I don't need. Set is error, so you want to say if there's an error, if an error exists, you want to say that there's an error that exists, and that would help with the submit form validation. This is the form state. This is to check if there's any error exists. If any error exists, and so it would clear. So that if there's none, it will clear this. That's why I have this here. The error messages, which comes from the component, and then the holiday allowance, which I have set to 0. I don't necessarily need it to be set to 0, but it's whatever. Um, so if the variable name is date of birth, then it will do this regex. It will do this test instead, which in essence is check the entire state the entire text on against this regex, and if bad things, if the test fails, then set error to be true and then display the error message. State variable. What was this? State variable length. I state variable. Oh right, yeah. So this is the general for like all the other text. So for anything that's text related, this is the regex that we would use, and then for holiday allowance, this is the what you call it. This is the validation we would use. So in essence, as long as the state variable is within the two numbers, and if it's not within the two numbers, we tell you what the two numbers are. Um, I guess I could have made this a variable. I probably should have made this a variable, but this is whatever. Like, this was just me. 360. Yeah, this was just me. Just like I wanted like a upper bound. And yeah, set error true. Set is error true. Um, so something I did not mention. This is a sync await function. The reason why I did it this way is because I found that when it was clearing it would clear the set error, but the error would still be there physically on the form. And so this is the what I ended up doing to do that is just like, um, oh, I think it was this that it would say clear all the errors, but all the errors there were no errors. But it wouldn't submit. You'd have to click submit twice, and this is what I decided to do to solve it. Which was essentially make sure that set error, the set error function, um, what you call it, make sure that it's finished before going into this. So this for loop goes through it. So it takes form state and it checks if there is any what you call it. It checks if there's any variable with the name error in it. So let me go back to the form context to let you know, to explain this a little bit better. So uniquely here, every error variable starts with error, and it specifically starts with common error, right? Like lowercase error. There are some other things that has error, but it's capital error, right? And so, I couldn't come up with a good idea of how to do how to go through to like go through the error state without, like, I guess grabbing all the error states, like physically writing them out or something. I don't remember exactly what the issue was. And my genius idea was to just pass the entire form state. Where let me go back to. Dang it! I need to stop doing that. Let me go back to where is it? Input validation. My genius idea was to pass the entire form state, look for this specific thing because this uniquely identified the error variable, and then check if it's empty. If it's not empty, then return set error is true, and return set error is true. I don't even think I need to necessarily say return set error is true, but return set error is true. And yeah, and if it doesn't return, then set is error false, and that's kind of how the validator works. Um, this I feel like I could have written a bit better, but this is literally what I kind of came up with. To be quite frank, I just kind of googled some stuff, and this is how I came up with this line. This does not come directly from the brain of Chad Stewart, but this is what I came up with. I'm pretty sure I can come up with a better version of this, and whatever, you know, I'm pretty sure I can come up with something better than this. Anyhow, let me go to tests, and I think that will be it. So where's tests? I have. Okay, cool. So, uh, for right now, like I said, the main thing that I was testing is testing if um well, testing if the form renders, obviously, as this thing says. I was testing if the form renders, and I was also testing if I could add a value to the form. Um, if you notice here, this was my attempt to try and figure out how to get the, how to get, I believe, I don't remember if this is true, but this was to one of the things that I was trying to do. I don't even remember what that commented out portion was, but one of the things that I was trying to do was to try and get the form to change by changing the country. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get that to work. In essence, what I couldn't do was, change the country, have the form change, to render the specific, inputs that I want, and then check if those inputs are there. Wasn't able to do that, so I ended up not really even finishing this. I'm not even going to read that. I don't even remember what that was. Yeah, this was, so I was going to like do. I couldn't figure out what to do, and so like I had this made to kind of work on it, but because I couldn't figure it out, I just kind of left it. So input validation. Pretty much what I did was I took all the possible. I think I took all the possible things here. By the way, tell me if I'm an idiot. Tell me if any of these things are wrong. I keep forgetting. Oh shit. I did not even see it's like Dejvid. Hey, what's up? Oh, yes, yeah, he has to get back to work. Okay, cool. Thanks, Todd. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. I mean, you're not here now, but thanks for stopping by. Hey, Dej, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Anyways, this is the last thing I'll talk about. So just the idea is just to change to see if I add if I add specific things to the variable. If I had the state variable be specific things, would the input validator be upset or not? And that's pretty much what I did here for all of this. Yeah, like I guess that's really it. There's not much else here really to talk about. Um, yeah, so this is my project. So what I should do, what I will do on stream is where is it? What I will do on stream. This is my GitHub. Chad Stewart. Yes, I have like interview prep. What I will do is I will make a, where is it? Let's make a new repo. I'm going to make a new repo, and I'm just going to literally take the project, literally exactly the way it is. I might delete a few things, but I'm going to take the project exactly the way. Take the project. I'm going to make it public, and then so people can comment on it. Tell me I'm an idiot. This is garbage. Why did you write it this way? Oh my god! Do you write code for production? Like, don't ever write code again. Like, I just anyways, so omnipresent take home public. So I will put the code up there. Yeah, let's create repo. Yeah, I am so self-conscious. I'm self-conscious because like I'm just doing stuff, and I just don't want people to be like, "Man, you're doing it terribly." Like, please leave me alone. So let me go. I guess I'll just use the GUI instead of. Oh God, don't do that. documents, um, workspace. What am I doing? All right, yes. Let me see. I guess I can, so workspace, not client work. I guess I'll put it in vanilla JS. Where is it? Do I have a React folder? Yes, I do actually. Okay. So I'll just call it Omnipresent Take Home Public. And then what I will do is just go grab the, so this is client work. I will go grab this. I don't think I might have copied the .git folder too. Let me make sure that I. Oh, right. Because copying all goddamn node modules. Show hidden. I guess if it's there, whatever. Alright. So what I will delete is this stuff I can delete. I'll delete the proposal. Because I don't know if they want me to show that. Do I need to delete anything here? Right, proposal. I guess I can delete these two things. Just save that. Not hardcode conditional rendering. Yeah, there's some stuff that I've written. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So I know I can just open this in terminal. Okay, cool. So git init, initialized empty git, git. Man, why am I blanking out on all this stuff? Add everything. Oh crap! Whoops! Let me not do that. Let's see. Git status, please. On track. Let me go get the. Let's see. Git ignore. I don't remember how the git ignore works. Where is it? Oh, .git ignore. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, so it's great. It's right here. Copy it. Come on. I just. Let's see. Yep. Oh wow. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. It's just a. Must be like a link or something. Okay. I just have it here, so let me just copy this, and then I'll just remake the git ignore here. So nano dot git ignore ignore. Let's paste that there. Is that the whole thing? Yeah, it's the whole thing. Then exit. Oops. Yeah, that should do it. Let's see. Git ignore. Just want to make sure that it's. Alright, so this should. I should be able to now. Git. Man. Yeah, you can see that I don't do this very often, unfortunately. Git. Add everything. Cool. So it's not adding the entire node modules anymore. Git status. Cool, everything. Git commit. -m. Putting. Making this code public. Cool. And then git figure out how to, yeah. So let me go get that now. Cool. Git remote add origin url git push origin did I even hold on, git status master. How do I rename branches again? Rename branch git. Do-do-do-do. Don't remember how to do this. Rename. Changing branch name. Git branch. Where is it? Is it move? Git branch move. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So git branch dash move master to main. Git status. Just making sure. Cool. Git push origin main. Okay, cool. What is it? ChadRStewart, and then ooh, that's bad. Hmm. This, right? Hmm. Oh, whatever. I'll I'll solve that problem later. Anyways, I will. Oh God, I will actually. Let me go here. So I will put that code on Git um afterwards. Yeah, I'll put that code on Git. Um, and then I guess on Twitter I will just say, hey, this is the take home I did. You know, rip it apart. So then tell me I'm stupid. um, and then yeah, that'll be it. So this is a bit of a short stream. I just wanted to be able to have said that I'd stream today because I want to be as consistent as possible. Um, so yeah, so um, I don't know who's still here. I have no idea. I will not put any effort into trying figuring that out. So I guess a quick thing. I'm Chad. And I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. I'm mostly a front end engineer. I kind of want to delve more into back end engineering. The channel is basically there to do that, to delve more into back end engineering. That's probably what I'm going to be streaming. Might stream video games, whatever. I have a YouTube channel, same name, ChadRStewart. Um, I'm going to put the VODs for each stream there, and I'll upload, like stuff, like bananas. That's what I'm gonna upload. I'm gonna upload like videos on like specific stuff. Like there's stuff that I guess I can talk about. Um, but yeah, that's kind of me. Um, Thank you very much for sitting down and listening. Um, I should say comment, but I hope you enjoyed the stream. The VOD for this will be up on YouTube probably by the end of the day. Wouldn't be surprised if it's up in the next couple of minutes. Um, but yeah, thank you very much for um, for tuning in, and you guys have a good one. Oh, right, I didn't mention my schedule before I leave. So my schedule right now is or the schedule that I would like to work with is Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. In essence, 9 a.m. to 11, then 11 to 12 break. I don't know what that will look like yet. I'll probably go get some food. I'll probably like leave the stream on, go get food, come back, and then at 12 I'll come back. You know, and then work until 2, and that's the schedule that I'm going to try and stick to. If anything changes, I'll let everybody know. But that's the schedule that I want to stick to. Um, I mentioned before I might play video games. I'll probably play video games. I'll probably end up playing video games on this. Um, that does not have a schedule. Um, that will probably be whenever I feel like it, to be quite honest. I don't even know what the hell I'm going to play, but um, that doesn't have a schedule right now. So I just want to focus on the coding because that's the most important thing for me to do. Anyhow, again, thank you very much. And you know, you guys, you have a good one. Have a great one.